Hello, I'm Elgato and welcome back to the Minecraft Console Edition update discussion video. Today I wanted to talk about the Console Edition updates going forwards, both in terms of TU67 or the Aquatic update, but also in terms of updates beyond that for the PlayStation 4 edition of the game, because there's some really good news you need to know about it, and there's also some kind of bad or kind of uncomfortable news I wanted to kind of discuss that was recently basically implied by 4J Studios, so I figured let's talk about exactly what's going on with future updates, both in terms of TU67 and updates beyond that, and what it means for you if you want to keep following Minecraft, you want to keep getting the latest updates, but you're a PlayStation 4 player, or you're not someone who intends on playing Bedrock in the future. So that's what we're discussing today. Please do like this if you do like it, because it helps out the channel. And again, let's know you like these sorts of videos where we're not just going to be overly positive for the sake of getting all them likes and all those views, but instead I'm here to hopefully inform on something that you can find very little information about, because let's be honest, a lot of people see Minecraft Console Edition as just that weird port edition of Minecraft. A lot of people don't, really treat it as a serious version of the game, and to some extent this even includes Minecraft themselves. Like, let's be honest, the whole reason that a lot of Microsoft, executives were confused by the idea of Bedrock not being popular on console was because they didn't realize that people liked, Xbox One edition or Switch edition in the first place, and that's why there was this big kind of battle between the two over the last year, because Minecraft Console Edition is a serious version of the game, and especially if you have a PlayStation 4, it's the version of the game that you're going to be playing for the next several years, and that might even apply if you're playing on a Wii U, a 360, or a PS3, which, obviously aren't getting those updates. But let's talk about the future of updates for the Console Edition / the PlayStation 4 edition, because the next update, the update Aquatic, is coming out for PlayStation 4 as well as all of the other Console Edition platforms. It's going to be coming out sometime we expect towards the end of July. Again, that's something we can't really put a pin on, and the reason we can't put a pin into that is because of how, Minecraft is treating the versions of the game going forward. So, Minecraft Bedrock is the main version of Minecraft now, and you might think that that's like a really weird thing that's like Microsoft forcing it on the brand, but the truth is, most copies of Minecraft that have been sold have been Minecraft Bedrock. Most copies of Minecraft are just phone and tablet versions. iOS and Android are such a huge portion of the overall sales. Then when you combine in the Windows 10 copies, you combine in like Gear VR, you combine in the brand new Switch version, you combine in the Xbox One Bedrock version, it just adds up to being more than 50% of the total players, so it makes sense on a player-based level to make it the main version of Minecraft. And then there is obviously the Java edition, which is the original version of Minecraft, and that one is also being kept alive because, again, it just has those early day roots, but every other version of Minecraft doesn't necessarily make sense to Minecraft anymore because it's not as widely played and it's not their main version of the game, both in terms of player base, but also in terms of this is the one that makes them money on a recurring basis. So basically, those two versions of the games are the two ones that Minecraft, Microsoft, Mojang, whatever you want to call the company as a whole, because there's lots of different bits that kind of overlap into each other, but that's the game that they care about as a whole, and that's the one that they focus most on updating. Both the Minecraft, Redmond team, i.e. the American team, and the Swedish team, they contact each other a lot to make sure that the updates going out are fairly similar across the two, and that they can have a consistent experience whether you're playing on Java or if you're playing on, again, most of the platforms that have Minecraft Bedrock. And at first, when they said Minecraft all platforms will be updated at the same time, that's what they said in last year's Minecon, we assumed that Minecraft Console Edition, having now caught up with the Bedrock and the Java, would also get updates every single time just after. And given that the update Aquatic was being developed at the same time for Minecraft Console Edition, we figured it will come out at the same point. And given that you now know 1.13 coming out in a couple of weeks, 1.5 coming out in a couple of weeks, you know that all these things are like coming out at roughly the same time, you might think the Console Edition would make sense to come out at roughly the same point. However, starting a couple of months ago, Minecraft started to signal this wouldn't be the case going forwards. Again, they started calling it the Legacy Console Edition at first to kind of imply it's the older version of the game, it's the Console Edition which isn't the new one, the one that they would rather you play, and that, let's be honest, a lot of people would rather themselves play as well. And given that the whole reason the PlayStation 4 edition even exists, the whole reason Console Edition as a whole even exists anymore after the update Aquatic is because Sony didn't accept Bedrock. One of the things that they made very clear in their post where they said this is what's going to happen is they said that the update Aquatic will arrive for Minecraft 360, PS3, etc., but it will arrive sometime after the initial launch. They specifically said a little while after the initial launch, and this was a really weird thing to hear because before then we assumed it would come out for all platforms at the same time, including your PlayStation 4, your 360, etc. And although this was kind of a bummer because it was mostly focusing on like, okay, this is the last update for 360, PS3, which if you haven't heard yet, because it seems like some people haven't, this is going to be, the update Aquatic is the last update for 360, for PS3, for Wii U, etc. The PlayStation 4 will be the last remaining console edition, but then the other weird thing was like, okay, so it's coming a little bit later too. What is the reason for that? And although it was never really clearly explained, it was vaguely implied that because, 4J are just a little bit slower than, Minecraft or Mojang at making updates. But then recently 4J put out a tweet, and in my opinion, this tweet is basically confirming that it's not up to them when they release the update, because not only only did they release a screenshot where they show off the last bunch of features in the update Aquatic, we've seen every update Aquatic feature, I think besides the conduit now, which again, maybe they're showing later, maybe not, but we've seen every feature in this update, and we've seen them for quite some time now. There weren't many features that they hadn't shown off before this one, but now we've seen all of the features in this update, even though there's like a month between now and when it releases, and maybe bug fixing just takes that long, maybe there's all these sorts of things, and this is just them being like, guess what, it's coming out then. But the caption they put along with it, to me, is the most telling thing in the world, because the caption that went along with this last, image showing us most of the last of the features, says, work on the update Aquatic for console editions is progressing, but it won't be released until all parts of the update have been released on the Bedrock version. And again, to me, this implies like, oh, what? Why use that as your yardstick, like something that is unpredictable as a update release date? Again, the update, Aquatic has been pushed back many, many times. Why use something as unstable and as hard to predict as that as your yardstick, unless that is the thing that is, holding you back? That is the requirement to release the update. It's not based on time, it's not based on development effort. The thing that is holding back the update for console editions is the Bedrock version. They want the update to come out first on Bedrock, because if it doesn't, there's this confusion where you go back to console edition, then come back to Bedrock. It's not necessarily a good thing, and it kind of makes sense from Minecraft's perspective. But then the second thing they say that kind of confirms this is what they mean is that we don't have a date for when that will be, but we'll let you know when it goes into test. So they won't send the update for certification, they won't confirm the update is finished and in test until the update has come out on all Bedrock. And again, given that that could take, let's say hypothetically, something goes horribly wrong, that takes months from now, but the console edition just happens to be delayed months at the same time. To me, that seems, I wouldn't say suspicious, but it seems like they're basically confirming that the update, and also in the same picture, it says we're not lazy, like confirming that they're doing stuff this whole time. I think to me, this sounds like 4J Studios have been told not to release updates for the console edition before updates for the, Bedrock edition. One of the cool things about last year in 1.12 was that it came out first for console edition, and I think given that they call it Legacy Console Edition, given that they'd rather you play the Minecraft Unified version, the one that's cross-platform, the one that in their opinion is probably the better game, the one that actually, makes them more recurring money on a recurring basis, and that hooks into all these cool new things they're working on, they'd rather you play that version of the game, and as a part of that, they're going to make sure that any future updates, it sounds like to me, release first on Bedrock and then on Console Edition. Given that Console Edition follows Bedrock, therefore has to kind of wait for it to be official, it does make some sense that, maybe that it's like a self-imposed deadline that they want to make sure they get all the features by making sure it fully comes out, because this is something they did back in the Java Edition days. But long story short here is Minecraft Console Edition updates are now officially behind Bedrock. They're not coming out at the same time. It's officially some amount of delay again between the the Bedrock Edition updates and the Console Edition ones. And in this case, it sounds like it's only going to be a few weeks. It sounds like it's going to go in certification right after Bedrock is released and right after they bug fixed it. But it also then means that you'll never get an update at the same time on the PlayStation 4 edition. You'll get them a little bit later. And when it comes to the future of like TU67, TU68, like whatever 1.14 ends up being, the cave update, which we can hope for, by the way, 1.14, make it the cave update. But all of these updates that you do hear about will be coming out for the console edition later, and that's the kind of uncomfortable truth here. The good news is it sounds like they have an intention to do it for the foreseeable future, maybe all the way up to the PlayStation 5's release date, and then we'll see what happens then. And I guess the bad news is there always is going to be a delay. Minecraft Bedrock is going to be the platform that gets stuff first, and honestly, I do understand it. At first, I was just like, why? They confirmed something that just isn't a good thing to confirm. Like, why not let it compete on its own? But it does kind of make sense that, like, as someone who has a PlayStation 4 and an Xbox, I would probably, flip back between the consoles, go here and forth. And given that, 4J wants to follow Bedrock, or they have to follow Bedrock, whatever, the case is, but given that 4J is following the Bedrock version of Minecraft with their updates, it does make sense that they wait for it to come out before it, they can actually fully publish that same update on the console editions. But it also seems like, why not make them like an equal partner in this? Like, just because, even though Sony is, doing some bad things as a company, like ignoring their users basically, it doesn't necessarily mean that their users deserve to suffer too. Like, for instance, stuff like mini games, they won't come back for the same reason of like, they don't want to make console edition better. I feel like you should be treating PlayStation 4 edition players not as people who are like, playing the wrong system and not playing the right version of Minecraft, because they don't have the choice to play the right version of Minecraft, and that wasn't a decision they made. If you want them to eventually, in the future, switch over, maybe, this is the way, you just like give them slower updates, or maybe you just embrace that, like, okay, Sony's having this decision now, at some point Sony has to reverse it, after all of these companies make all of these declarations, like Fortnite, having this huge controversy, might be the thing that breaks Sony. If it's not, Fallout 76 recently said no crossplay because Sony is just a bad company to work with. That all of these, eventually Sony will allow crossplay, eventually there might be a Minecraft Bedrock on PlayStation, and maybe the best way to convince people, to get people to play on their PlayStations is to get them to like the current version of the game. Whereas delayed updates, having them always be behind, having people feel like they're playing an inferior version of the game isn't necessarily a good way to do that, in my opinion. But that's what I think. Let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. Do you agree that it sounds like, console edition updates are going to be behind Bedrock? Because I can't see any other way this is going to be. Or do you think it's some other thing there? Do you read all of that and you think, no, that's just something? Let me know also. Then second question is, what do you think about the whole Sony thing? And then third of all, what do you think about calling updates title update versus 1 point something? Because officially right now, I believe the Minecraft PlayStation 4 update, it's called something like 1.73 is what we're looking forward to. TU67 is 1.73, but we call everything TU so far. But when they retire the 360 edition, should we switch to the PlayStation 4 nomenclature? Or for the sake of, the fact that it's been going so long, should we keep calling it TU68, TU69, etc.? Because the dream is still to one day hit TU100, right? I don't know. Let me know what you think about all the three of those things in the comments down below. But for now, I hope you all enjoyed the video. I think this was important to go through so that the knowledge is out there. Because again, finding stuff about Minecraft Console Edition is always harder than normal. That's one of the reasons I started this channel, covering Minecraft Console Edition all the way back, even though we're mostly focused on Minecraft Bedrock these days. It's something where I always want to keep on talking about these important Minecraft console issues, and I hope that you all do agree. And just in case you don't agree with anything in this video, and you watched it because you just like to, hear me talk about things, even if you don't care about any of them, then just for you, here is a picture of a llama, and here is a picture of the cave update, which is what the next update should be. #propaganda, #we need a cave update in Minecraft. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.